Okay, let's go.
Welcome to this episode of In the Passenger Seat, where I take you on a ride throughout the sports world, just one interview at a time. You know how we do, but I tell you what I got going on this week. Gentlemen's got mail this week, so let's get down to that right now before we get our guests. As everybody knows, I was at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy a couple weeks ago, and I was there as a guest of Riverdale Baptist. And I was there as a guest of Black Baseball Media. So it was really an honor to be there and to have free range of this whole amazing complex. So if you get a chance, go on out to the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. It's over in Southeast DC, right there off 295. So let's get to what they gave me. Coach Aaron Graves and the Riverdale Baptist Crusaders gifted me one of these sweet hats. When Coach Graves was on my show, I'm a Riverdale guy. So I wanted that R for Riverdale. And thank you so much, Coach. And it was such a blast hanging out with your boys in the dugout. You got some good kids over there, Coach Graves. So keep up the good work, my friend. And I will try to get out to another game, sir. Today, I got a baseball player with me today. We're changing it up a little bit. So let me see how we're going to introduce this guy. I got a former University of Michigan baseball player and team captain who helped the Wolverines win 2 Big Ten championships. He ended up getting drafted by the Cincinnati Reds in the 2010 Major League Baseball draft. And he's currently the owner and general manager of Primetime Baseball Academy in Alexandria, Virginia, and the current head baseball coach at Bishop O'Connell Knights. Let me welcome to the show Coach Chris Berset.
Yeah, what's going on, baby? How are you, man?
Oh, man, I'm fine as wine. I got my feet on the dirt today, too. I was out covering the game of the week. My game of the week this week, I call it the gentleman's game of the week, is Ken Allen versus Stephen Decatur. Ken Allen comes in with an 11-3 record. Stephen Decatur 17-0. It's a big Bayside matchup. They're both in different conferences of the Bayside. One is the North, and I believe the other is the South. Yeah. But Ken Island can win Bayside with a big win tomorrow. They got 3 games back to back this week. So I'm going to put that Decatur. I've been wanting to see this Decatur program. They got some arms, and it lines up this week, Coach, that both Ken Island and Decatur got their big guys ready for Wednesday. Their schedule. So
that'd be a good matchup right there. That's perfect.
I'm excited. So, look, let me just get a quick update with you. You had a game today. How did that go, Coach?
Yeah, so it went well. I'd probably be a different kind of attitude if we dropped that one, but we were able to take to today's game. We literally just got back. We played Flint Hill. A big matchup for us because we do the private school independent teams there, so it was a big matchup then. They just got into the rankings, so we were able to win 10-2, not after making it hairy and interesting, but we were able to check on some runs late. So much better mood after tonight's game.
Most definitely. Well, I'm glad to hear you guys had success today.
Yes,
and
sir.
You're in a good mood for my show. So
yes, sir. 100%.
Let's kick it off the way I do. I want to know, tell me about your childhood sports idol.
Sure. You know, I bet my response is going to be a little bit different because there was 2 ways I looked at my childhood idol. One was, okay, you always have your top guys in there, right? Your super, super talented guys. There was one guy I always watched, and it was definitely basketball. It was definitely Michael Jordan. I loved him, watched him. He was the guy, right? And he was the guy who took the last shot at the last every game. Win or make, obviously, he made a lot of them, or win or miss. But MJ, there was nothing going, and there was no better time than watching him play and just compete. I loved it. And then my favorite shot of all time, Jazz, I think it was game 6, the crossover and just hanging it there. I mean, fire me up. There's nothing more than that. Yeah. And then also some other lesser known players that I would see. I was never a super talented player. I mean, I was good, right? But I wasn't just blessed with genes. So I really followed those guys who were the nitty gritty guys, the grinders out there. So Brian Schneider from the Washington Nationals was someone I always followed. And then I
Wow.
was a switch hitting catcher too. So your Veritek, your Posadas, who, yes, they're obviously Hall of Famers now, but back when they were there, they were the dogs leading that team there, and I just loved them. I loved everything about it, just watching them and just seeing how they went about their business. You know, I didn't think they were like, obviously your Johnny Benches or your Pudge Rodriguez's. These were the guys who are like, all right, they're willing to win whatever cost possible, and I just gravitated to them. I was like, I need to keep watching them. So it was kind of funny, but I remember I met Brian Schneider in spring training, and I was like, bro, can I just get a bat? Like, please. And he's like, yeah, like why are you one of my biggest fans? I was like, I love watching you play. So those were my guys that I really follow, especially in the baseball world. But I mean, MJ, Tiger, all those guys,
Oh,
even
yeah.
Bonds, like those are the guys you watch for and how they got that clutch gene about them and just studying how they went about their business.
Okay. You threw some names out there that I have in my ranks as well. Pudge Rodriguez. I was a catcher myself until later knee surgeries bumped me to third. But
Yeah.
I was a Johnny Bench guy. I wore number 5 quite a bit. I was a Pete Rose guy. I wore number 14 when I couldn't get 5. But another catcher that I really liked watching and I thought was a dog, like you mentioned, is Alomar over in Cleveland.
Uh-huh.
Was it Sandy, I believe?
Sandy Alomar. Then he had his brother Roberto over at second base. But all of those famous catchers who just found ways to win and like were so selfless to the team, those are the guys I gravitated to. And it was just, you can go back into all those names. Those were the guys. Those were it, and they were going to do anything possible to win. And so Sandy Alomar, that's an absolute fantastic. And when the Indians played the Yankees, some of those great playoff matchups.
Definitely. So were you did you play multiple sports coming up, or were you just a baseball guy?
That's a great question. I get that one all the time. I played multiple sports. Never played football. I think because the high school never had it in our area. So I mean, you play flag football, but nothing structured. Basketball and baseball. All right, those were my two, and I joke about it all the time. My passion for basketball is so much higher than it was for baseball. Like my dad had to bring me out of the house to try to, get back in the rhythm of baseball. But it was like, Dad, nope. It's basketball season. It's March. We're still here. So I love basketball. I mean, the adrenaline rush you get from that, obviously, my limitations of being 6 foot, I kind of hit a limit in high school and I couldn't really do anything more with that. So that's when I started pushing everything to baseball. But definitely multiple sports.
Yeah, I was probably better in baseball, but I enjoyed basketball more because of the flow of the game.
Yep.
Baseball, you can get some innings that are tough, man, especially when you're young.
Do you ever? Yep.
I was at one the other night. They had a knock the rust off tournament or an icebreaker tournament, one of those early tournaments. And the kids were out there for 55 minutes. And what killed me though is the sportsmanship part of the game. The other team was up 18-3.
Yep.
And he was still stealing and going on pass ball, scoring. I was just like, that's just killing it. I mean, I'm not saying you gotta make automatic outs, but you don't need to.
We don't need
opportunity.
You got to respect the game because it's going to come back and get you at some point, right? I mean, I think 10. You get up by 10. Okay, yeah, your odds of winning are pretty much 99%, right? But you get up more than that, you don't need to be running on them. Let's go. It's still respect for the other team in the game.
Yeah, no, I always used to, as my dad would say, is pull the dogs off.
Yep.
The kids always look at me. Why aren't we stealing? I'm like, respect. It's hard to tell a 10-year-old, be good.
Also very true. You want them to be, aggressive, but there comes a time, boys. Settle down. We'll be okay.
So the Bishop O'Connell, it's over there in Virginia. Where did you grow up, Chris?
So I grew up in Hernan and then Vienna. So we're in the kind of this whole area that we are in now. So very familiar with that. I went to the Heights School. It's in Potomac,
Mm-hmm.
Maryland, three
Mm-hmm.
through 12. They weren't necessarily known for their athletics there, much more of a academic type religious school. Had opportunities to go to Madison, transfer in there, but my mom was like, "No, you're going to stay at the private school route." Turned out all right, but definitely from this area. And then, yeah, obviously went up to Michigan after that and getting a scholarship there.
Right. But if you're saying that the Heights wasn't that much of a sports school, did you played on their baseball team though, right?
Sure did.
And got recruited. Was it more than just Michigan that came after you there?
So it was kind of a funny story and something I always tell my kids where a lot of teams liked me, a lot of colleges liked me, but I did nothing to really like stand out, right? I wasn't like a 6'6" runner. I wasn't throwing a crazy pop time or just dropping all these tanks everywhere. And literally my last ever showcase, we went up to Wareham, Massachusetts. I threw a 192 down to second, and then I hit a ball off the wall lefty and I put a ball out righty. And I had about 9 coaches waiting for me. And the funny thing about it was my last ever showcase. Like there was nothing, we don't know what would have happened if I didn't if God didn't intervene and I went off on that trip. So it was like the August 25th going into my senior year. And ever since then, it was like 9 schools. The first school that I spoke with was Rich Maloney at University of Michigan. He's like, "Do you see yourself as a Wolverine?" I'm like, yes, very much so. Please make whatever happen. So that's kind of how it was on that process.
Damn. So coming into what with that spring ball at Michigan as a freshman, what were you doing? Were you carrying bags, warming up relief pitchers? What were you doing as a freshman? Big Ten.
Funny you say that because they had an immediate need for a catcher, but I was really undersized. I was like 165, 170 pounds. Didn't really know what the weight room was yet, but I could just compete. So it turned out I caught about, they gave me one opportunity, looked okay back there. I caught about half the games and hit 300. And then that's when they were like, "Oh, wow, this kid can actually hold his own there." So I was going into it thinking I'm going to sit behind some guys, but then sure enough, they throw me out there and I'm playing half the games for my freshman year. So it's pretty crazy.
Wow, that sure is. That sure is. So, I mean, you did very very well there. It seems. I mean, to be captain on a. I mean, this isn't Salisbury. This is Big Ten major baseball.
Big 10 ball. Yeah. So
So the years. Go ahead.
that freshman and sophomore year, I think we were top 10 preseason ranked too. Like all the starting 9 ended up getting drafted later. So it was like we were very, very, highly touted. And the freshman year we went to the regionals and beat David Price in the walk-off, if you remember that game.
Is that right?
That was our game, and then went to super regionals and then hosted regionals the next year. So this was like big time ball where a northern school is not supposed to do these type of things, if that makes sense.
No, you're definitely right. You guys were football, ice hockey, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is what I thought Michigan was, but uh, to get 2 championships, let alone.
Correct.
And then, so what you were in college? What 2006? That was your
6 to 2010.
yeah. So how did it go about? When did you become a captain? As a junior, senior?
So not after my after my junior year.
Right.
I was supposed to be one of the main guys junior year, and we were down in Jacksonville, Florida. Tried to block a ball, came off weird on my thumb. It completely shattered it, so that kind of put everything behind the 8 ball. Especially with the draft. Yep. If you're a former catcher, you know all the bumps and bruises you get with these guys.
These are crooked. These hurt.
Yeah. So we had that. We came back to school with senior year and, was leading that squad. I had a fantastic season my senior year. I think I went off. And partially because I was like, this is probably my last go around. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy Michigan. And then, boom, I just kept hitting and hitting and hitting. And then, got fortunate enough to get drafted in the 20th round by the Reds.
Again, man, that's impressive baseball. I'm blown away by your accomplishments, man.
I appreciate it.
So when you get drafted into the major leagues, you're going to rookie ball, or where are you going first? Where
The
you drop your
first stop
bags?
you go to is Arizona. So you go to Arizona. I think you play like 2 or 3 games. In the first inning, I'm catching. There's a kid on first base who gets a base hit, and everyone's kind of watching. And it's like, all right, well, who's on first base? Didn't know who he was at the time, but it turned out it was Billy Hamilton. And I'm like, oh, I'm sure he's pretty fast. So he steals, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna gun him easy. Nope. Airmailed that into center field. So I was like, oh,
Oh shit!
welcome to pro ball real quickly. But started getting the hang of things, and we went to Billings, Montana. That was our first like short season rookie ball there. So we're in the middle of nowhere. I think I was on top of like a ridge. So if you ever been to Montana, they got those like cliffs and everywhere. Funny story about that. I didn't have a car there because we're from here. The host family was gracious enough. They're like, yeah, you can have this car. I was like, sweet, that's awesome. But they're like, but it's stick shift. I was like, I know how to kind of use it. He goes, all right, well, just go practice in our front lawn and you can figure it out from there. I was like, okay. So learn how to drive stick shift there, survive the year, and then it takes you all over the game, all over the map. I think we went from low A Dayton, which is fantastic to play, high A Bakersfield, California, which tougher place to play, than
Mhm.
Pensacola, than Louisville. So you get all the quadrants of America right there. It's great to see though.
Yeah, now you get some travel in. I mean, back then, how was your travel for minor league ball? Were you just in economy buses?
Oh yeah, it was brutal. It was these guys haven't. I always joke with some of my guys who have got drafted. I'm like, you guys haven't made now. You're what? They play Tuesday to Sunday. They know where they are. There's stories with my wife upstairs that she would come into town at Louisville, and then they're like, nope, you're getting bumped back down to Double A. Well,
Oh
what do you want
shit!
me to do with my soon-to-be wife? Well, figure it out. Sorry. I'm like, oh,
No.
Grace, I don't know where to stay. Yeah. And so, it's part of it, but you don't think too much of it at the time, right? You're just in it, you're playing pro ball. Your goal is to make, the show one day. So you kind of go with the flow. Now, what they have now, charter basses, they get houses paid for, they have a set kind of weekly schedule, which would have been very nice to have.
So, I mean, the travel, sometimes the not knowing you're at, sometimes the homesickness. How was it on you mentally trying to make it to the show? You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? You're bouncing around. How was it on you mentally?
So I'll tell you, for homesickness, my mom got rid of it one time. It was like fall, I think it was a month into Michigan, and I was getting homesick, right? I know it's crazy. You're at Michigan, you shouldn't get homesick. And I was like, Mom, can I just come home for like a weekend, short weekend, please? And she just looks at me, or actually on the phone, she goes, nope, suck it up. You're there now. You're not coming home. And I was like, I'll see you at Thanksgiving. And I was like, oh. Okay, guess that's how it's going to be on that sense. So that kind of
Okay.
took over everything. All right, I'm here. I'm playing ball. I'm not going to worry about not being home. I'll go home when I can. When I met it was girlfriend and then fiance, then married. It was just a lot of communication. Like we tried to never go a month without seeing each other somehow, some way. Obviously, being in the same place helped out in the Pakistan because it was in Louisville, so she could find trips. Or if we played in Norfolk, she could come down there. But it's a lot of communication, right? It's I don't wish it on the faint of heart, and that's why we always say, right? The wives are she's the absolute rock star up there. Whatever she says goes. You learn that very
Yes, sir.
quickly. So
Smooth sailing, smooth sailing.
exactly.
So being at Michigan and you're stuck there, baseball season's over. We're coming into August, and
Yeah.
it's time for Big Blue to get fired up.
Yeah.
Were you involved in, going to games, tailgating, the parties, the whole Michigan football scene as well?
Man, you know I'm a gamer like that. We have football games, basketball games, hockey games. We were going to the volleyball games. It didn't matter. You know, most of the people and friends we hung out with were all athletes. Obviously, we're in the same boat together. But the football games, football Saturday, you can't beat it. Hanging out with your
Mm-mm.
buddies, tailgating, whatever you got to do, and going to the game. The hockey games are the most wild thing
Yeah,
ever. They get so intense there. They're fun. We didn't necessarily have the best basketball team at the time, but
yeah,
obviously
up
now
and down.
seeing them win it all, it's like, oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah, sports are just a massive component. Oh no, don't give me that.
My one of my best friends, childhood Michigan fan. I don't know. You see the blue behind me. I'm a Duke fan. Um,
Okay, okay.
I always say, it's Michigan, but I say Michigan, and that's my thing. And this year, I did not text him. Every time I text him, he says I put some kind of jinxie on him, and Michigan
Mhm.
loses. So the next day, I said, "Man, I wanted to text you last night, but I decided to let Michigan have this championship." So, what's up, Nick Catucci? That's for you, buddy.
There you go, baby. Go blue all day. I know the boys are getting quite annoyed with me saying, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna win this one." Now football, wait till Underwood does well. We're gonna win that one too. They are
Sheesh.
getting quite annoyed with me.
Well, I tell you, Michigan's definitely on my list. I got down to Happy Valley and went to two
Hmm.
Penn State games. That's one of my 100,000 plus stadiums.
Yep,
Michigan holds it. I believe Ohio State might hold
I think they're up
100K.
there. Tennessee maybe
But
is the other one. I'm not sure.
yeah, I've been there,
Okay.
and but Michigan's something I want to go to. I will wear, what is it called? What's their colors?
The maize
It's
and
not
blue.
maize and blue. I was
There
going to
we
say it's not
go.
yellow and blue. It's maize and. I
You know
will wear
what?
the maize and blue if I come into the big house.
Hey, you know what? I got some extra gear. I got some gear for you. I got some real sharp looking gear that will look fantastic on you.
As long as it says O'Connell and not Michigan. But so talking minors again, and like I say, guy I grew up playing ball with, he went to Stanford, got
Sure.
2 rings over there with Mike Mussina in the '90s, and then he got drafted by the Yankees. The Yankees traded him back to the Orioles, and he played for the Frederick Keys for a good minute.
Okay.
And he did 7 years, and he just said, the dream was there, but after 7 years, and in the '90s, it was even worse travel than you had.
Yep.
And he said it's time to go to work. His dad had a sheet metal business, and he just said I gave it my all, and I played ball as long as I could. And that's probably pretty much what you did. And it seems like you hit the ground running when you stopped playing ball, Coach. Um, I want to hear about this academy, this youth academy you're doing, primetime baseball. Can you tell
Sure.
me about this academy
Yeah.
located in Alexandria?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story how it all came about and where we're
Yeah,
at right
please.
now. It was like your normal pro ball player, right? You're not making a lot of money. You come home from the winter, you're not getting paid, so you're like, all right, well, I got to do some kind of income. So let's do some
Mm-hmm.
lessons, right? Or do lessons, blah
Mm-hmm.
blah blah. I met my business partner John Skaggs at this place, and one off season he was like, "Yo, you want to just do our own thing?" And I was like, okay, let's go. I trust you in a sense. Well, that kind of evolved into like, hey, we got a team, we got to train. Hey, they need a spot in Alexandria. You want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go for it. Kept kind of evolving. I'm still playing. I think we started in 2014. Toward the back end of my career, so he was a teacher at a school, so he's got a busy normal 9 to 3, whatever that may be. He can't be in the facility all the time, and the business kind of falter a little bit, right? And both owners aren't there, so if we're not there overlooking things, it kind of took a back seat to our normal 9 to 5 job, me just playing ball. So that's what kind of happened toward the back end of my career. Is like I could have gone to indie ball. They had a bunch of offers there. Your body's getting beat up. We're starting a family. We're getting married in January. So I was like, all right, let's maybe now's our time to kind of stop. Well, it was kind of a good time. We got all the momentum kind of shifted into prime time and just started rolling out players, right? We're rolling out teams. I think right now we started with 2, went to 3, and now we're at 23 to 24 teams, all ages from 8U all the way up to 18U. We've
Wow.
had in the past 4 years, I think we're at 101 baseball commits that are like homegrown, not guys who just come over and play for a game or two. Like these kids are like our own who we feel like that if probably wasn't for us, they're probably not going to get there. You know, we're blessed with fantastic coaches, and this is where it is. It's like we started with just 6 cages. Now we have 6 cages, weight room, pitching lab, another pitching lab, a
Wow.
kind of like a science-based hitting one that I kind of work in when we're there. And so it just kind of evolved into something where it's just we love the game of baseball, right? We surround ourselves with coaches who love the game of baseball, who love to grind, who love to help these kids out any way possible. And yeah, here we are. We're still rolling. I would never have guessed that, but we're still rolling.
Wow. Well, in today's game, the way kids are playing basically one sport year round, you need these kind of facilities. And a lot more are going up in the DMV area. And a place that I've been given a lot of praise is in Southern Maryland area, the SMAC, Southern Maryland
Mhm.
Athletic Conference. It's Calvert County to St. Mary's County. And the improvement in their sports is through the roof with
Huge.
state championships. They had 4 teams in state
That's
championships this
awesome.
year in football. They've
That's
had
impressive.
multiple teams in softball and baseball. And I put it all out to Chris Dooley's Baseball Academy in Waldorf.
Yep.
And Jason Skaggs has one over in Huntingtown, I think it is.
Hmm.
But Chris Dooley?
I don't know him. I know of him. I don't know him personally though.
Yeah, he's got some great coaches surrounded by him. I don't have all the names with me, but I've been out there and checked out that facility. It's really nice. And I'd love to come check your place out in Alexandria.
100%. Anytime. And I think one of the things that we try to do for our boys is like we keep it 24/7. So they get a membership. They can come in anytime they want. They don't have to be
Wow.
here. We got like security, surveillance for everything. You know, it's a lot of trust aspects, a lot of worries on our
Mhm.
end. But hey, look, if they're here, if they're there hitting on a Friday night at 10:30, 11. Maybe they're off the streets. Maybe they're just, they're getting better. They're lifting. They have a bad game at O'Connell. They can pop down to prime time and hit a little bit more. So, anything to ease their mind, ease the parents' minds too. Hey, they're working. They're getting better. We try and teach this game in baseball. It's like you might not play professional basebal, but you're gonna
Mhm.
fail in it. So you better learn how to fail and work hard once you fail because it's coming. It's coming
Well,
sometime, some way or another.
I like it sounds like open door policy you have there where, the kids can just come
Yes.
in. That's amazing. And, you get the kids, you can't have them think I want to play baseball to go to the MLB. I want to use baseball to just further my life, my education,
Correct.
everything. Let baseball work for you. Don't
Correct.
do it the opposite way around.
Yeah.
So, can you tell me some of the programs you might work on there as far as either with pitching or hitting? What type of things do you work on with your kids there?
I'm definitely more me personally. It's going to be hitting and catching. Obviously, more of
Mhm.
my forte. Being a switch hitter, really understanding both sides of the plate. Like I always tell all the guys, is like a lot of these hitting coaches only had to deal with one side. I had to deal with both sides at a AAA level and a big league level. I wasn't naturally gifted in a sense. I just worked really, really hard. So I'll focus on that. But that's not to say like I don't know pitching. I could do pitching, but again, it's just kind of where you dictate your time. We have some fantastic pitching coaches in there. So my dream and goal was always, and my passion was to be a manager. So helping out all these coaches, hey, how do you win so many ball games? I think that's been a strong forte of myself where it's like, hey, there's ways to win ball games, right? There's moments when you have to attack. There's moments when it's to play safe. I actually talked to the boys today. I thought they were a little too reckless on the base pass, but it's like, hey, at least they're aggressive. At least they're looking
Mhm.
for the extra bag. Let's try and teach that moment of like, okay, he bobbled it right in front of you. I saw you looking for it, but it doesn't mean you just have to go. So again, hitting, catching, managing the whole aspect. But again, we focus on it. We want Primetime to be a one-stop shop. We want it to be a locker room. So you're up there lifting, you're downstairs pitching, whatever it is. We're there, and we're going to make sure you're working. We're not here for the fluff where you're just sitting around doing nothing. Like, you're here to work. And so I think these boys gravitate. They're boys, right? They're high school boys. They want to compete, and they need to get that testosterone out somehow, or I'll still get in trouble.
No, that's correct. I stay over on Eastern Shore. I'm in Kent Island, and if a kid's not hunting, fishing, or playing ball, he's in trouble.
Yeah, 100%.
I hate
100%.
to say it. I hate to say it because I don't want to see it, but there's not enough in certain areas of the state. There's nothing for the kids to do. Not like the academies you have. We got Bigby over here, Larry Bigby, former Baltimore Oriole. He's got a place, and then we got two smaller ones on Kent Island. But there's a gentleman named Bob Woolley over here who owns the Edge Academy, and he is really doing big things for Kent Island. They just started their first AAU basketball team.
Okay.
We usually go to Annapolis or Easton.
Well, that's the best thing about it, where it's like I've heard it so many times from the parents of these kids. They're like, my boy don't listen to me anymore, right? I'm 13, 14. You can be a role model. We can be a role model, and we're happy to do that. Where it's like, hey, they give us a little grace. Where if they're messing up, they're acting out, we can put them in line, and they're going to listen to us, right? Not all the time, but I mean, if we tell the parents we can help you with that role model aspects of just being, again, little things, right? Being on time, respecting the umpire. Don't be throwing none of your helmets down onto the ground. Okay, you're 0 for 4. Don't make an excuse. You stunk it up. All right, there ain't nothing about it. Go on the team work. Go on the machine on work. And I think, again, those little things play dividends. And that's been our motto at Primetime. And that's where we just keep getting kids and kids and kids. And probably could do a better job on our end on like all the other aspects of the business side. But we're ballers. We're baseball players, and we love grinding with it. So it's been pretty successful for us.
Well, I like some of the aspects you have. And it does feel good when parents can recognize that you had been a big influence on their child's life. And when the child comes to you later, maybe invites you to their wedding or, names their kid after you. Who knows?
Oh, 100%. My business partner gets fired up when he doesn't get a graduation invite. He's like, that's all I want. Give me a graduation invite. I want to be there and celebrate the moment. I'm like, easy.
It's hard to get those invites nowadays.
I'm sure there's a lot that goes around. They only have like 20 people there, but I think it goes to show the passion, right? You're 100% right. Just getting that invite, seeing them married, growing up to young boys and to men, you can't beat that.
Yeah. And then, like you said, teaching them what to do on and off the field. I remember at young ages of kids I have, the parents would come in the dugout and start putting their gear away. I'm like, no.
No.
The kids put their own gear away. You paid for it. They take care of it. And that's what my dad gave me a brand new glove. Says, I bought it. You take care of it.
Yep. 100%. We didn't even go, again, it's a little bit more extreme where it's like, they forget a water bottle. Like, you can't have mom and dad keep running in here and getting them on it. It's part of it where it's like, okay, son, this is your one warning, but you can't just forget all your stuff. It doesn't work like that. Oh, you forget your jersey? Well, you're not playing. But there's no buts, right? Take care of the little things, and those big things will happen. But yeah, no parents in dugouts, no shot. That ain't happening. They're going to be kicked out of there very quickly.
Yeah. No, only thing, the younger ages, I'll take a team mom, but I select her.
Yeah.
Team moms rock. Team moms are the best. I get them. So, Coach, we got to take a couple seconds here. I got to pay some bills. We're going to take a little break, and we'll come right back. So give us a second. This here is going to be from the sponsor. This here is Chesapeake Landscape Materials, 8217 Baltimore Annapolis Boulevard in Pasadena, Maryland. Take care of all your landscaping needs. Mulch in all different colors. They got pea gravel. They got pavers. They got stone. They got drainage. Just give them a call, 410-437-7718. Tell them the gentleman sent right now. And I will give you a guarantee. Chesapeake Landscape Materials prices will beat all the big box stores. So leave at Home Depot and Lowe's and go check out my guy Mulch Man. He'll take care of you. Coming back with head coach from Bishop O'Connell. This here is Chris Berset. Chris, I want to switch over now. What is this Alexandria Aces baseball team you coach? This is a collegiate level team?
Yes, sir. So it's in the Cal Ripken Collegiate League. Long story short, there's about 6 to 8 teams in there, varying on how everybody's doing. We play June, July every single night, so 6 nights a week. We recruit all the kids from all over. So I think last year we had about 24 host families in the city of Alexandria, which was nuts. Shout out to my host family coordinator, Savon. She's amazing.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I recruit all the connections I've built over the time. I get these college coaches, they send me players, boom, we put them together. I literally get them 2 days before the season starts. Then we hit the ground running. Like I said, myself and the Bethesda Big Train, they've been 2 of the predominant teams that we've had some very good success and some good battles against. But yeah, that's Shirley Parvis over there.
Big Train, is that Palumbo? Is he up there?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, I got invited and something came up. Yeah, I want to go to that stadium.
They do a good job over there. I will say that it's a fun place to play. All the little games in between innings. It's a great alternative. It's like, obviously everybody wants to go to major league games, minor league games. Everybody wants to go there too. Go see some college summer ball. Like, you got the next wave of future kids who are playing hard. They do a great job over there, and Alexandria does as well.
And when does that play? You said June, July?
June, July. Literally every single day. We start June 3rd and then get 1 day off a week and then end. I think it's no later than August 1. So we play about 40 games into that stretch, which is a lot. You better have a lot of arms. You got a lot of pitchers. So
sounds like it.
Yes. But it's been a blessing. It's been awesome, absolutely fun, every second of it.
Gosh. We were talking pre-show about how busy your athletic director, Joe Wooten, is, but Coach, you're right behind him. I know. Busy.
I might have to simmer down on some of these things, or else my wife's not going to be too happy. If you see some of the action in the back, I have a 7 and a 4-year-old who are dying to play some hoops back here. So, there's some time that's got to be most definitely allocated to them.
But okay, doing this summer ball, and then tell me more about the European World Championships with the British national team.
Yeah.
What the heck are you doing?
Really, really cool story, though. So it was so funny. It was junior year in Michigan, right? And we had this guy, Brant Us, played in the big leagues for a little bit. He's our volunteer coach at Michigan, right? Comes in the dugout, and he's like, any one of you fools British? And I'm like, wait. My mom was born and raised, came over when she was 18. I think that qualifies me. So I'm like, Coach, I think I am. And he goes, what are you talking about? So I tell him the story, and he's like, yes, you idiot. You're British as can be. Like, do you want to come play for the British national team? I was like, sure, why not? That sounds like a fun time. So go through the process of that. And so I was their starting catcher from 2009 all the way to 2017. So first ever tournament, we get flown out to Zagreb, Croatia. First game was against Japan.
It's beautiful out there.
Yeah, beautiful. So we played there.
That's seafood you're gonna get.
Yep. Then we had to take an overnight train through the Alps to go to Netherlands. And so any opportunities I could go over there to see the world, I'm definitely going to take it. I've been on their staff a few times. Obviously want to do as much as possible. The World Baseball Classic got offered. We have a strong team at O'Connell. I was like, I'm going to miss like a week and a half. I couldn't do it. But there is sometimes you have to say no, but I try and give back at British baseball as much as possible. I think when we started, we were the 33rd ranked team in the world, and now we're up to about 14th. I think we're playing in that Premier 12 League toward the end of the season, so we've made tremendous strides from when we first started. So very proud and happy about that.
You're into baseball I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew about the collegiate thing because, like I say, I knew the Bethesda. At first, I thought you might have been talking about like industrial ball. Does that still exist?
Not really. Not really. I wouldn't say like they have a league over there that's not very good, but they've been slowly getting better with it. But like I said, I was the first ever like college and then pro guy. Not ever, but like one of the far and few. And then we just started finding more and more connections. The guys who've done it have done a fantastic job recruiting for that. So we're trying to take it more seriously in a sense instead of just tea and crumpets the whole time.
The avenues that you have, it's like a baseball family tree of all these different
really
organizations that you have touched. And I think that's what made you this coach you are. So let's talk about Bishop O'Connell. And how long have you been at the head there?
This is my second year. So yeah.
How was that coming in? Where did you come from? What were you doing? Were you coaching at the academy when they approached you, or were you coaching the Aces? How did O'Connell come at you?
Yeah, so I had the Aces one, and I had a really strong high school travel ball team that I kind of went up with through prime time. I always said I would never coach high school. I've been offered a few college, bunch of pro jobs to go back there. Like being at home with the family, right? Obviously, that give and take of how much time is. Bishop O'Connell came open. Joe reached out, Joe Wooten. I was like, man, I really have to consider this, right? The field is immaculate. The program is fantastic if it works good. Obviously they give a lot of investments to it. And yeah, here we are, second year in. We just got our team's second 20-win season. So we were 20-6 last year, 20-5 right now. So back-to-back 20 seasons in a high school level is pretty cool, pretty special. My assistant told me about that today. So everything's been fantastic about it. Now we have some lofty goals to try and win a championship, but they're high school kids. You never know what you're going to get out of them. And, I'm just trying to put on forward and have some fun, fly around the field. So we'll see if we can take it home this year. We'll see, though.
Chris, you're one of a kind. It seems like you live like to have a blast.
We're just having fun. Yeah.
That's what I like. You're so easygoing and just chill.
Now, I will say some of my players might be like, I don't know about that, Mr. Carr. He ain't even chill right now. When I make one mistake and he's screaming at me, I go into practices like I'm not getting mad at all. I'm nice and calm, and then boom, I make a mistake, and I'm like, everybody on the line, 297.
Well, that's what the kid said today. When I was out at Ken Island's campus today, the kid said, yeah, coach is being chill because you're here.
Yeah. I might be chill if you're there, but if they do one thing wrong, then all right, you'll see the floodgates open and no promises after that.
Well, I mean, so right now, it sounds like you're having an extreme season. You said you're at a 20-win season right now. What do playoffs look like? What do you think it's going to look like? Who do you think is your biggest competition?
Yeah, Paul the Sixth. Paul the Sixth is a very, very talented team. They're always going to be good over there. Coach Emerson does a great job. And then obviously you gotta go through the reigning champs of St. John's, right? They're quote unquote down according to everybody, but absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Never heard that.
They're the dogs over there. They're the reigning champs. They're going to be the toughest out. But we play a play-in game on this coming Saturday. So again, just trying to take it one day at a time, and then know you're going to have 2, 3, 4 good teams that, whichever way the bracket shakes out, they're going to be good, right? They're tough, talented teams, and if we play good baseball like we're capable of, we can beat them. Mm-hmm. But we can also make plenty of mistakes and lose to anybody. So, then you have that, and then you have the Virginia Independent Schools, private school tournament as well, which we call states. PVI is up there, and then you got Miller School with Billy Wagner over there, right? So, dudes who have done it for a good amount and long time. So, that's what I'm trying to tell the guys, right? We're gonna have to go through these great teams, but it doesn't mean that you're not a great team. We're just gonna have to go take it from them. So, a lot of respect for them, but it's playoff time, and anything can happen. Get hot a little bit, everything's good.
That's it. Once playoff time starts, your back's against the wall. I used to love playoffs and tournaments. League ball used to bore me. I wanted back against the wall. And you were talking about aggressive base running earlier. That's one of my biggest things. And I was aggressive. I was aggressive base running as a coach. You can win and lose on base running.
100%.
Win and lose on base running. and you can steal a
100%.
game. Yeah. So let's get to what's going on now. So what do you got going as far as pitching over at O'Connell? I mean, what's your strengths? Is it pitching? Is it hitting? Is it defense? What gets O'Connell to this win record?
That's a great question. And I always say this year we got like, it's a coach's dream in a sense where you have, your superstars at the top. You have two kids who can take over the game. And we got a kid, Brian James, who's going to Virginia, having a fantastic season. And we got a catcher, Jack Wood, who's going to East Carolina. Like, those are your hitters that can absolutely do damage. You have some senior leadership in there paired with some younger kids who are, quote unquote, highly ranked on the PBRs type scales, but still are trying to figure out their game. On the mound, you have the same thing. You got a kid going to Richmond, kid going to Presbyterian, some juniors, one of the top juniors, in my opinion, pitcher. And then today we started a freshman who was up to 88, 89 and looked good. Wow. He had some mistakes he can always be better from, but he looked fantastic and minimized. So it's like, you got it all. Just got to put it all to pieces. And again, if our bats get hot, we're going to be a tough out. They've seen the type of pitching that can eliminate, a good pitcher will win playoff games. Like, we should be able to, again, knock on wood, and have a good fight in there. And again, just coming up with a big knock is what it comes down to. But we got a good little combination, but who knows? We'll see. Keep praying.
Yeah, no. Well, Chris, it's coming about that time when we got to wrap it up. And I look forward to continuing to follow your guys' season. Trying to get on out there either to your facility or campus. I call it the gentleman's field trips, man. I'm always up for a field trip.
Absolutely. But come on out anytime. You'll see it. It's a crazy setup at prime time, but we make it flow and we have a blast in there. Get the music cranking. It's a good time over there.
No, I love being in the indoor facility and just have guys just working. I love that atmosphere. And like I say, being around some of these high school baseball teams lately, it makes me feel young again, man. I love every bit of it. So thanks again, Coach, and best of luck in the playoffs.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for having me on anytime. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun.
All right, Chris, thank you. And everybody out there, you get time, go to jacobsloanfoundation.com. They're doing wonderful things for kids and families all over the state of Maryland. The Jacob Sloan Foundation, it's been around now almost 10 years. Jacob Sloan was a 12-year-old young man that was taken from us way too soon, and the family's keeping his legacy alive with the foundation. So jacobsloanfoundation.com. And don't forget my guys, Chesapeake Landscape Materials, 410-437-7718. I'm going to take a day off Wednesday, everybody. Game of the week, Kent Island, Stephen Decatur, 2:30. They moved it up because of the storms coming in. So 2:30 first pitch at Kent Island. And so we're going to skip Wednesday. Next Monday, we got West Coast coming to the show. I got Graham Bowsley from Cathedral Catholic High School over in California. He's a basketball coach over there. So let's talk some West Coast high school basketball. Really looking forward to talking to Coach Bowsley. So we're going to wrap all this up. And as my pop used to say, we're going to turn you loose.